just came from, and all of a sudden I turned, and bam, right there, right beside me, guess what it was? Worse than a bear. Worse than a moose. It was a person. It was this well-weathered 50-year-old woodsman with a big gun in his back and a mouthful of tobacco. Now, I don't know if you ladies are aware, but there's not a lot of women here in Alaska. I don't know if I should turn and run or ask him for directions back to the Park Hotel. Before I can even make up my mind, though, this man starts telling me stories. He's going on and on and on. But don't get me wrong, he's telling stories better than any book I ever read in college. Come to find out, he was helping some fellow on the way to research, and he goes, I'll make you a deal. I'll give you directions back to the Park Hotel if, tomorrow, I run these papers down to this Adolf Murray fellow for him. I go, sounds like a plan. I want to go on the park anyways. I'd sure have to get back to the hotel. I know that she has a box. And in that box was this little, tiny puppy. Now, I just couldn't help myself. I had to bend down to pick it up. So I picked this puppy up and I'm holding it. It couldn't have been more than a week old. Its eyes were still closed. I said, Louise, where in the world did you find a puppy? Way out here in the park. She goes, oh, that's our wolf pup, Wags. I said, wolf pup? Why do you have a wolf pup in your house with your family? She goes, well, my husband Adolf is doing research here on wolves. He thought it'd be a good idea to go hiking out in the woods, crawl down into this wolf den, pull out this puppy, bring it in their house, and raise it with their family. But get this, just to see how it interacts with people, I'm thinking, I'm supposed to be eating lunch with this woman? I said, Louise, the only experience I have with wolves is 15 years ago, back in 1924, where I still lived in Michigan. And it was a really hot summer night, so I had my window wide open. And in the middle of the night, I heard this loud ruckus coming from outside. So I grabbed my hand lamp, and I sneaked past my dad's door, because I know if I wake him up, he'll be really angry because he has to work in the morning. And I go outside, and when I get out there, I see my mare just racing around frantic out in the paddock. So I walk out to the barn and see what it was that had her so upset. And when I got out there, I pushed open the door, and it just happened. And my light shone right in on my 3-month-old colt being attacked by a wolf. And I told Louise this. I said, Louise, I think there's absolutely no place in this here park for wolves. I said, I think they're all bloodthirsty savages, and they're a danger to all of us visitors and to all the other wildlife that lives here. And Louise looked at me and she goes, you know what, Mary Jane, that's really sad what happened, but you know what, maybe you really don't know that much about wolves. Maybe you should think about sticking around here, and tomorrow my husband Adolf comes home. Maybe he can take you for a walk and teach you a thing or two. So that's just what I did. I stayed the night down there with Louise and her family. And next afternoon, Mr. Murray comes home, and we go walk near the Toklat River, and I tell him just how I feel about wolves, and he tells me all about his research. And we talk for some time, and all of a sudden he stops talking, and he just kneels down. So I kneel down right next to him, and he points. And about from here, I'd say back to where those spruce trees are right back there, there was a mound. And on top of that mound was this big black wolf. She was laying there all sprawled out. She was bigger than I was. She had a gray stripe down her shoulder right here. So I just started watching her, and pretty soon, one at a time, these 3 black pups come up out of the den. And they start romping around and playing with each other and wrestling, and they climb up and they start playing with the mom. I must have sat there for at least an hour and a half and just watched them. And pretty soon, out of the corner of my eye, I saw this gray wolf come walking along the ridge, really slowly. He starts walking slowly down towards his family. He looked tired, kind of like a husband, working a really late night at work. And he walks down towards his family, and he plops down to take a nap. And those 3 pups came racing over, and they start tugging on his neck and pulling on his tail and wanting to play with him, so he gets irritated. And he stands up to walk away from him, but he turns and he looks right at us. And he starts to walk towards us, and his ears go flat, and he crouches down. He must have stopped about 15 or 20 feet away and starts growling and barking at us. I could see the yellow in his eyes, and his tail starts to twitch. Like a cat ready to pounce on a mouse. And I'm getting ready to run away when I look over at that Mr. Murray fella, and he's just sitting there with his 8mm motion picture camera out. He's just going tick, 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 tick. Record the whole thing, so I go, Mr. Murray, we gotta go, we gotta get out of here, we gotta get out of here, we gotta go, gotta go, gotta go. He goes, Mary Jane, calm down. Just wait a minute. So I just sat there, and pretty soon that wolf stopped growling, stopped barking, turned, trotted back to where his family was. He walked around his family, And they all went down in the den, and the big gray wolf came back out, and he just laid there on top. And he just watched us. You know what I thought? Maybe these wolves really aren't bloodthirsty savages. If that wolf wanted to kill me, he would have. But instead, he went back to his family and he communicated with them that we were the danger. Maybe wolves really are intelligent, and they are family-oriented. And that wolf that attacked my colt when I was a little girl, maybe he was just really, really desperate to feed his family. And when I was sitting out there talking to Mr. Murray, I kind of got to thinking, wolves really have been surviving out in this park for thousands of years, exactly like they are today. And even though we don't always see them, we know they're out there, and that's what makes this park so wild and so unique. And I'm just so happy to have been here and gone out there and met Mr. Murray and seen how beautiful this park really is. I want to stick around here and find a job. Maybe folks want to stick around and find a job as well. We can stick around and wait for that super hit to come back together.